I have developed the program for the question that I asked in the lab, that you need to write a program to perform insert, delete and display operations on an array. So I just wanted to provide some explanation about the program so that you will be able to understand the logic behind the program. So first let me explain you the main function. Inside the main function, I have just provided the menu to be displayed to the user. So as we have already seen, we generally go for a do while loop when we want to implement a menu, though we can use any other loop. A do while loop is commonly used, so we have got the do while loop here, and under the do while the menu options are being displayed. So using printf, I am displaying option 1 as insert, option 2 as delete, 3 as display, and exit is given option 4. And now we need to decide which one of the functions to be called for the based on the selection of the user. For that I have got the switch case. So even here also we can use a if else instead of switch, but again switch is the standard practice. So we always use a switch case whenever we are processing the menu choices. So I have used a switch case here. I am checking whether the choice entered by the user is 1. If so, the insert function will be called, whereas if the choice is 2, then the delete function is called, and option 3 means display will be called. We don't need to do anything for the exit option, because the while loop runs only until the choice not equal to 4. So only for the other 3 options the loop will continue to run. The moment user enters 4, this condition will become false and the loop will automatically stop. So the program will also end immediately. So nothing needs to be done about the 4th option. And this is what is given in the main function. Now I am going to show you the declaration of the array, because it is the array which is to be inserted, deleted and displayed. Because we have provided the 3 operations as 3 separate functions, we cannot declare that array inside the main function, which is a mistake. If I declare the array inside this main function, then it becomes local to the main function and it cannot be accessed from the other 2 functions, other 3 functions. So we need to make it into a global array. Now the next question is that how do we make a variable or an array into a global? In C there is no special keyword called global or something for declaring anything as global. It is just based on the place where you declare. If you declare a variable outside all the functions, automatically it is treated as a global variable. So we don't need to say anything additionally. You just have to declare it away from all the functions, and that's what I have done here. I have declared this array at the beginning of my program before entering into any of the functions. So these 2 variables, one is the array and other is a variable. These 2 are automatically treated as global by the compiler, and because they are global, I can access it from all the functions. So that is the needed for the declaration. The next 2 are declaration of the functions. Normally we don't need to declare functions, only variables needs to be declared. But in my system I was getting a warning message when the functions are declared after the main function. So to suppress that warnings, I have declared the functions also in my program. And then coming to the first function, which is the insert function. When it comes to the insert function, it may happen in different ways. The first possibility is that the list is already full. Let us say that I have inserted multiple times, the values are inserted multiple times. As a result, at some point of time the array is full. How do you know whether the array is full or not? I am checking whether the current index is equal to the size minus 1. The size minus 1 is because index starts from 0, which is 1 less than the size. So we are checking it against size minus 1, and this current index variable will be maintained to always point to the last value we have in the array. I will show you how we are keep updating the current index so that it always points to the last value present in the array. So we are checking it with the size minus 1. If these two are equal, then we are simply showing a message that the list is already full and so we can't insert. Now the next condition is that if current index is equal to minus 1. This is an opposite condition, that the list is totally empty. When the list is empty, you can insert a value, but you don't need to ask the user at which position you want to insert, because there is no already value, there is no other value already existing in the array, so you can only insert it as the 0th index. So you don't need to ask the user about position. So here we are only asking the user what value you want to insert, and we are just putting it into the first index, which is index 0, and this happens by incrementing the current index variable under this plus plus operator. So this else if will take care of inserting the first element into the array. After that, this else part will be covering all other insert. That means that we have already inserted one or two minimum 2 values, and now we want to we have inserted a minimum 1 value, and now we can give the user the choice of the position. For example, let us say the user had inserted his first value by running this particular else if statement, and so the array contains number 1. Now the user wants to enter one more value, and now we can ask the user whether you want to insert the next value at the front or here after 1. So before 1 or after 1, that choice can be given to the user. So we are asking the user at which position you want to insert the new value. So now the option is either at the front or later. So user will give an input according to his choice. I will show you a few options. Let us say currently 1 value is there, and I want to insert it here, which means that I will enter the position as 0. Whereas let us say I have the value as at the 0th index, my new value has to be inserted after that, which means I will give the position as 1. So here the position is supposed to be 1. Similarly, let us say I have already have a few values, and I want to insert here between 1 and 3. Now I will give my choice as 1, so that the new value will be inserted at the first index. So basically the position to be given by the user is nothing but the index where you need to insert the new value. So once the user has entered the position, we have to ask, next we want to ask the user what is the value to be inserted, and we are storing it into the variable called value, and now we need to alter all the values. For example, let us say I want to insert it here, which means that I need to move all the elements to their next position, so that I will get a space to insert here. So wherever you want to insert the new value, you need to move all the elements one position to the right. For example, if I want to insert it in this position, then I will have to move all the elements one position to their right, so that they don't get erased when I add the new element. So that is what is done in this loop. So first I am taking the I is equal to current index, which means I points to the last value in my array. Let us say currently I have these numbers 1, and I want to insert it in this position. which means my position equal to the value I'm given as position is 0, 1, 2. So my position is 2 and current index is at the moment is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So current index is 4 and starting from the current index I am moving all the elements one position to their right, which means first 5 will be moved one position, then 4 will be moved to the position of 5, then 3 is moved, and now that I have moved 3 and now I can place the new value in its previous position. So now the insert has completed, and that is what is being done with the help of this while loop. So I am moving all the elements to their next positions. After that I am finally placing the new value at the required position. This logic will also work when you want to insert at the end of the list, not in the middle. For example, right now I want to insert the new value after 4 here, which means that I will be entering the position as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will give the position as 5, and when I enter the position as 5, it is greater than current index. So the 5 is greater than current index means that this loop won't even run. So automatically it will go directly to this statement where list of position equal to value, which means list of 5 equal to value. So the new element will be placed right after the last value. So this loop is capable of handling all possible situation, whether you want to insert it at the front, middle or end. This loop will accommodate insertion in all the positions. And after inserting the new value, I am incrementing the current index by 1, so that the current index is always updated to point to the last element present in the array. This is what is done for the insert operation. So we are doing different kind of checkings. First we are checking whether the list is full. If so, the request is declined. Whereas if the list is empty, we are inserting the value, but without asking where do you want to insert, without asking the position, we are simply adding the new value in the 0th index. When there is already one value or more than one value, now we are providing option to the user where do you want to insert, and then we move all the elements to one position to their right side, so that we can finally insert the new value into the required position. This is what is done for the insert operation. Now coming to the delete function, here we are checking whether the list is empty. So when the current index is equal to -1, which means we haven't added any element into the list, and so the list is empty, and we can simply display a message that list empty and can't delete anything. And next condition is that if current index equal to 0, which means that we just have one value. See, just like when there is only one, then when there are no values in the list, we don't need to ask the user which position you want to insert. Similarly, when there is just one element in the list, we don't need to ask the user which position you want to delete. So we will delete only the only one value that is existing. And again there is a question asked by many, how do you actually delete an element from an array? We can't actually delete an element from an array. We can only make it inaccessible. So because I am maintaining the current index to always point to the last element, when I decrement it, the last element gets physically it is existing in the array, but it is not considered when I try to print it, because in the display function I am only printing the elements from 0 to current index, and when I decrement it by 1, the last element gets gets out of my list, so it won't be printed, and that we can treat it as deletion. So this is what is done for deleting the only value that is existing in the array. But if there are many elements, then we can give an option to the user, which one do you want to delete. Once again, it's going to be similar to the insert. And let us say I have got 3 elements. If I want to delete 1, then my position will be 0. If I want to delete 2, 1, I will enter 1 as the position. If I want to enter delete 3, then I will give 2 as the position. So we can choose the position as per our choice, and after that, once again we need to realign all the elements, just like we did for the insert. But here we need to push all the elements to the left side. During insert we were moving elements to the right side, but here we are moving elements to the left side, and finally we decrement the current index by -1. So this is what is done for the delete operation. Display is very simple. You just have to display from the 0th element to the current index. That's all is needed for this particular program. Let us just try to run it once. So first I am choosing, let us see whether we are able to we are able to delete or not. So it says that list empty and you can't delete. So it perfectly working. Let us try to insert a value. So enter the value to be inserted. Because this is the first value we are inserting, it is not asking the position. So I can give 1 as the number, and it got inserted. To check whether the insert happened correctly, I am calling the display. So it is showing 1 is present in the array. Now I am trying to insert one more value. Now it is asking where do you want to insert, that is before 1 or after 1. Let us say I want to insert after 1, which means 1, my position is 1, 0, 1, and then it is asking what number you want to insert. I am giving as 2. Let us once again check whether it happened successfully. You can see that we can the list contains 1 followed by 2. And now let us try to delete a number. I am going to enter the choice delete 2, and position. Let us say I want to delete the first, which means 0. It has been deleted. So I am calling the display function. You can see that it is only showing the second number because the first number was deleted. So the execution shows that the program is perfectly working for all the conditions, whether we are trying to insert into an empty list or we are trying to insert into an existing list at a particular position. And similarly, when you try to delete from an empty list, it's showing error message, and we can delete any value from any position. So hope you understood the program. You try it yourself by recreating the program based on the video. So what you have watched in the video, you just try to type it again by recalling the memory of seeing this program. It will be a good practice for you.